be just launching a brand new website with almost nothing on it called MAHA.io. My job as Director of Communications for Robert Kennedy Jr. is now over, as of just over an hour ago when I was standing in the Oval Office watching him sworn in. But you were the ones that have been gaslighting hundreds of thousands of parents that witnessed with their own eyes vaccine injury. You were the reason no doctor ever learns how to fix vaccine injury. We know how to handle a drug overdose because we can talk about that. And the doctors that do investigate how to possibly reverse transverse myelitis or Guillain-Barré syndrome the moment it's happening, a brain swelling event, you were ridiculing them. You were supporting a medical establishment that attacks that doctor for daring to say vaccines cause injury. You were a part of the greatest lie any modern society has ever changed today.
Woo!
Now you'll have to decide whether you want to report on real science, because that is what you were about to see. We've never looked at the entire vaccine program, ever. We've never, ever looked at those that got all 72 of their vaccines compared to those that got none. We asked the NIH to do that study, Robert Kennedy Jr. and I did, and a team of scientists. Why won't you do a retrospective study? If a prospective study, meaning having a placebo group and denying them of your faith-based religion that it is perfectly safe even before a trial, will you at least do a retrospective study of the vaccine safety data link, which has 10 million people in it, tens of thousands of unvaccinated individuals, which the Institute of Medicine said is perfectly capable of doing a full, well-powered study, comparative study between the unvaccinated and the vaccinated. Back in 2017, the NIH, Francis Collins, and Tony Fauci said, we will never do that study. You're journalists. Your job, like mine, like a detective, is to come up with motive. What would be the motive for the largest, most powerful scientific institution in the world, filled with the greatest scientific minds, to not do the most obvious comparative study? Do you think they haven't done it? Do you think they want me at this microphone today? Do you think they want Robert Kennedy Jr. now the head of HHS because so many people now know the truth that you've never written about? Do you think they wanted to stop this? Do you think they don't realize if they'd have done a comparative study between the vaccinated individuals and the unvaccinated individuals and proved to the world that the vaccinated have less cancer, less ADD, ADHD, less lupus, less asthma, less autism? Don't you think you would have been printing that at the headline of every one of your newspapers? Don't you think they've run that study so that they could end this conversation forever? Come on. Where is your common sense? This movement is real. It's the real thing. Driven by moms that are tired of the media lying to them. And you have ruined all of your power because in your 24-hour-a-day news cycle, spreading lies about Robert Kennedy Jr., lies about the safety of all of these products, including the chemicals that are in our food that's finally being reported upon. Where were you in the 10 years that Kellogg's was poisoning our children in America, but not poisoning them in America because they're making a different product? Where were you? Why did you start this job? Am I that different than you that I wanted to do an investigation? That my curiosity could not be stopped just because my executive producer said we're not going to look into that story? We don't cover that? Well, everyone that did has now changed the world. They just got their HHS secretary. They just got their president. And you're going to have to think about what you do from here. What I'm going to do as Robert Kennedy Jr. brings the MAHA movement and idea into the regulatory agencies, as he starts doing the studies and science that we've been asking for decades. As he stops gaslighting people saying, we can't figure out what's causing autism. We're the greatest scientists in the world and the greatest nation in the world, but we can't figure out a problem that's gone from 1 in 10,000 to 1 in 34. Either someone's lying or someone needs to be fired. And that's about to start today. And that's all we want. Radical transparency. And all I want from the news is radical truth. If you're being asked to be shills and pump out lies, quit. Start a podcast. Do something helpful for this country. MAHA is a movement. We're going to build tools. We're going to build an ecosystem for true proactive health, working with every single practitioner that makes lifestyle change your first choice over prescribing you a drug. No one is here to take out the pharmaceutical industry or the giant industrial medical complex that is pushing drugs on our children starting in elementary school. 1 in 4 kids leaving elementary school will be on a drug the rest of their lives. I didn't grow up like that. There's no reason we should be like that, except that we let the pharmaceutical industry buy your news agencies. We let them buy up the hospitals. We let them buy up the government, the most powerful lobby in Washington. But today, they lose. And today, the people win. A national database of all the practitioners that are going to heal you. Real health care, not sick care. We're going to create media to support everything that Robert Kennedy Jr. is doing, because you'll probably be mandated to scream bloody murder every time a transparent study comes out. But we'll be counteracting that with the truth tellers that got us to this place. We'll see if you start reporting now that we have a truth teller inside of government. And we'll see if you start reporting as you watch this movement in the hands of the people, the MAHA movement, growing every single day. They're going to look for who's telling them the truth. They've seen who's lied to them. Maybe they can forgive you. I will if you start doing your job.